Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Oh, what a win for Syracuse football. Down 11 points in the second half, and it didn't matter. The Cuse rally all the way back and take down UConn 27-20. The final score in overtime. And with that, we welcome you to our post-game coverage in studio here from Galaxy Media in downtown Syracuse. What a win for the Orange. They come all the way back, down 11 points in the second half, 27-20, the final score. We're here to unpack it all. Give us a call and chat about your thoughts at 315-437-7644. We're going to hear from Fran Brown, listening live to his post-game press conference. And there is so much to talk about for this win that Syracuse just pulled off. It really felt like, in so many different ways, this team was dead in the water, 30 minutes ago? I mean, that sincerely is what it felt like. And instead, Syracuse pulls it off, rallies late, and makes the magic happen. Plain and simple. Little bit of dome magic for you on a Saturday afternoon that I really feel like just kind of ended up coming out of nowhere in this game. Today's show, as always, it's the Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, Burdick BMW, Burdick Ford post-game show. It's presented to you by Point Guard Advisors and Charles Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Give us a ring, 315-437-7644. The hotline brought to you by Massage Envy. You can find them located in Fayetteville and Clay. If you're watching on Cuse Sports Talk, that's YouTube and Twitch. Be sure to go nuts in the chat. Let us hear your thoughts, and we'll talk all about it. Looks like we already got people calling in on the line. You absolutely love to see it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the phone lines and hear from some of these crazy Cuse fans after this game. We got Braden down in Virginia. I just spent the last 4 years in Virginia, so can't wait to hear this one. Braden, you got us? How you doing?
Now, what have you made of the Syracuse run game so far?
Braden, I'm sorry. Can I hear it? Have you cut out for a second? Can I have you say that one more time for me?
So sorry. So 2 games into the books for Syracuse so far. Big win against UConn today. What have you made of the Orange run game so far?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I would have liked to see the Cuse run the ball a little bit more at times today. But you get behind and you get in a little bit of a hole, and fourth quarter, there's not necessarily an opportunity to do it with the time on the clock. I thought Will Nixon did a nice job toting the rock. There were times I would have liked to see bigger doses of Yassine Willis. I like the concept of saving him when you can, but at the end of the day, Fran Brown has said that he is the most talented player on this offense. So 11 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown for Yassine Willis. But, you put him in at the end of the game there, and he's the one that scores the touchdown to take the lead, and you tote the rock with Yassine Willis, your best player late. It really did remind me shades of LaQuint Allen, just as far as situationally when you give the best player on the offense the football. Braden, what do you think of the run game? I think we lost Braden. That's all right. Braden, appreciate the call. Continue to call in, 315-437-7644. Appreciate the call, Braden, but I think that there were times I would have loved to see more of it, especially early on in the game. But all things considered, I mean, it's effective when you can use it. Will Nixon did have a nice job, and it doesn't necessarily show in the stat column. He goes 9 carries, 30 yards. But Will Nixon was huge and timely, and they used him in the check down game a lot. Ended up with 6 catches, 47 yards, averaged 7.8 yards a catch. So there was a lot to like out of the running back room, even if it wasn't just your traditional tote the rock, run the football. No doubt about it. Let's break down some of the box score here a little bit. Why not? And continue to give us a ring. Steve Angeli goes out there and goes 33 of 53. They threw it 53 times. And I get that you played overtime, but they threw it 53 times. 417 yards through the air. 2 touchdowns and an interception for Steve Angeli. I'm not going to lie, folks. I fired off a tweet, and it was a little bit later than some other people fired off a tweet about this specific subject. But I fired off a tweet late in the fourth quarter that said, and I quote, I'll read the exact tweet right here on the air. I said, I would not be opposed to seeing if Ricky Collins could offer Syracuse a spark here. I wasn't calling for Angeli's head, but I said, hey, we're at a point right now watching this game that you can see Syracuse is struggling at the quarterback position. They weren't moving the ball very well. They weren't getting into scoring position, so to speak, often. Handful of 3-and-outs, and it just didn't seem like it was coming out of Steve Angeli's hand the way that maybe even he was hoping, right? A lot of throws that were sailed high. A lot of throws that were low. A lot of throws tipped. All of that. But Steve Angeli, to his credit, responded in a big way. He comes out there in this fourth quarter, and let's take you through the last couple of drives that really allowed Syracuse to come back and win this game. You end up with the big play that sparked it all. The deep strike, all of a sudden on fourth down. He gets it to Justice Ross Simmons on 4th and 4, the 52-yard touchdown. Ends up being a 7-play, 90-yard drive. That was with 5 minutes and 41 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And then you needed to go the length of the field again. Not a lot of time on the clock, essentially 2-minute drill. 13th drive of the game for Syracuse. Backs against the wall. And Angeli just goes dink here, dunk there, nice play here, nice pass there. He even got crushed on an incompletion. Parham, their transfer defensive end that came off the edge and drilled him. Wasn't fazed by it, got up, kept chugging. Hits Villari for 26 yards. Hits Russell for a first down. Nixon had the nice 10-yard run. And all of a sudden you blink, and the Cuse went 10 plays, 80 yards, in a minute 18 seconds to take the lead in a game that you just felt like you were so far out of. You have to give props to the quarterback for that. And that's coming from a guy that was tweeting that it was time to see Ricky Collins take the field for Syracuse in fourth quarter game action. He was able to flush what in a lot of ways was a very poor performance. He was able to flush all of that and go down the field and win the game for Syracuse. And then even in overtime, Angeli had his stuff. Hits Nixon on a check down. They get the first down. Hits Jonte Cook for 7 yards. And then I will say, 3rd and 1. I didn't love the decision to throw the ball on 3rd and 1 and not have Yassine Willis on the field. That was like quite literally preposterous to me that it was 3rd down and 1 at overtime around the 10-yard line and they were going to throw the ball and Yassine Willis wasn't even on the field. That was crazy to me. But to Angeli's credit, and even more so to Justice Ross Simmons' credit, unbelievable play. Great throw, put it in a spot where only JRS could go get it. And then JRS, I don't know how you make that catch. Unbelievable catch by Justice Ross Simmons. And then the Cuse end up coming up big on defense. Like there's so much good in the last 30 minutes. There's so much unfortunate, but there's so much good in the last 30 minutes. Like Cuse has work to do. Don't get me wrong about that. Like They got to go to the drawing board in some aspects, particularly on offense. But, man, that last 30 minutes, they were not going down without a fight. And that's a testament to the culture that Fran Brown has built. It really is. This team does not quit. Not once did they quit last year. I think today was besides, I guess, like the Pittsburgh game last year, this was like the most down bad I've seen Syracuse under Fran Brown. And they didn't quit. Not once did they flinch. That's a testament to the culture Fran's building here in Syracuse, because they had every opportunity to roll over, and they didn't. They just kept fighting. And Fran Brown still, as a head coach, has never lost 2 consecutive games. Didn't let Tennessee beat you twice. Felt like you did for the first 3 quarters of the game, but didn't let Tennessee beat you twice. Give us a ring. Let's talk about it. 315-437-7644 is where you can check it out. Syracuse, though, the defense, you got to give a nod to the defense. And we're going to talk about that on the other end of this break. Syracuse takes down UConn 27-20. A comeback overtime win after being down 11 in the second half. The Cuse come all the way back, pull off the big win, and get even at 1-1. They beat a really good UConn team in doing so. We're here to talk about it all. Ring us in 315-437-7644. Plenty more to talk about on the other end of the break, and we're going to have Fran Brown as well with his post-game press conference live right here. You're listening to Cuse Sports Talk at ESPN Syracuse.
Point Guard Advisors and Burdick Ford are proud supporters of Game Day radio coverage of Syracuse football.
Chat.
We are the pulse of
Chat,
the
how we doing?
ESPN Radio 97.7 and 100.1.
I'm William Attar. We see it every day. Good people facing tough challenges after car crashes.
Yeah.
Insurance companies don't always deliver.
Sorry, chat. How we doing? Is it a little smoother now? Are you serious? No way. Yeah. Yeah. Tell Matt. Tell Matt we're gonna get him. I didn't. Okay. All right. Watch it be my dad. It better not be my dad. Okay, good. Chat. Who was at the Dome? I actually went up for the first half, and then I came here for the second half. Chat, how we doing? Let's see, what do we got here? We talking Greg Robinson in the chat? That's crazy, Pull. Should get his flowers today for how well his unit.
Syracuse Sports Talk shows on CuseSportsTalk.com. This is the Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW postgame show with Giovanni Heater.
We are rocking and rolling once again with your post-game coverage as Syracuse comes all the way back in the fourth quarter to take down UConn. 27-20, the final score in overtime inside the JMA Wireless Dome. We welcome you in studio. Giovanni Heater with you. The Burdick BMW, Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus post-game show. And we're going to go to the phone lines. We're going to hear from Fran Brown very, very soon. The head coach of the Orange is taking the podium momentarily. But for now, we're going to go ahead and check in with the phone lines. First, we got Matt in Syracuse. Matt in Syracuse, how you doing? Can you hear us? How you doing, Matt?
I can hear you, Giovanni. You sound great.
Appreciate it, Matt. What'd you think of the game? What a win. What a win.
What a win. I want to give Fran Brown credit for maturing as a coach, too, because the way he managed the clock late in the fourth quarter was perfect. You know, he used his timeouts judiciously. He gave the team the time they needed at the end. He called the timeout when there were 12 men on the field to save them from a bad penalty in the overtime. And, you know, a year ago, he might not have made those calls as successfully, and he was still learning. And I think he did
a good job. He's a great man, a good husband. He just got it all put together well, and I truly respect him, and I'm thankful that I had the opportunity of competing against him.
Question? We'll start right in the time here with Frank.
Fran, we saw right at the end of the game, the players were running some sprints afterwards. Was that something that came from you, or did they do that on their own, or how did that come about?
It was just a certain way that we want Syracuse football to look. And we didn't do that for 2 weeks, but we were able to get a win. So, you know, we stayed at win, lose, or draw. That was happening if it didn't look the way it was supposed to look. So, just wanted to – I don't want to say something and then I don't do it. I don't want to be called as a liar, or, you know, when coaches say, if this happened, it's going to go down, and then they end up not doing it, then eventually, I don't want to be that guy. So whatever I say I'm going to do, I try to make sure that I get done because my name's on the line.
Steve Angeli certainly had his struggles before he came through at the end there. What were you telling him on the sideline as some drives weren't happening, and then evenally when it broke through?
When they do the pick, I just say, you got to have fun. Stop playing like I played in high school. Have fun. I mean, what was you gonna really do with a quarterback when he's not having a rough time? You gotta loosen the moment up. You gotta allow him to know that he's human, that everyone makes mistakes, and just bounce back, right? I just kept pointing at him and winking at him and messing with him, telling him your time's gonna come, and it did.
Fran, first and foremost, congratulations. So when you look at this victory and you look at Steve Angeli, the way that he played, the struggles that he went through, the adversity that he had, just what it says about him as a man on and off the field, the way he responded, the way he led the team in the fourth quarter as well as in overtime.
So him as a man, first off, Steve Angeli's a great kid. He comes from good parents. He comes from a good high school program. He was at Notre Dame, which is a good program, right? So he's been a winner since he's been a little kid. We had the opportunity of having him here, and it means so much that he is our leader, that he understands and knows football, and especially to come be able to compete in a rival game like that. I think all week a lot of people kind of forgot the history of Syracuse and UConn. People ask UConn, you guys should do this. It's independent. These guys won 9 games last year. They damn near beat 2 ACC football teams. They probably have arguably the best X&O football coach in college football. So, it was a big game, and he came up and he played big, especially at the end, to be able to do that in the fourth quarter for a quarterback. That's what you want. You want them to be at their best towards the end of the game, and he did an amazing job, and you can see all the players consistently rallying behind him. He had a third-string tackle go in, and he gave that tackle confidence, right? He gave me confidence. At one point, I'm like, God, what's going on, Coach? Keep your head up. I am. So I'm just happy he's our leader. I'm thankful to have him.
Christian on the end.
Fran, he was pretty good early. He took that hit and sort of struggled after the hit and the fumble, Steve Angeli, and then pulled it together late. We would have asked you this if you lost, so I'm going to ask it after a win. Did you think about Ricky at all at any point when he was struggling?
Nah, I'm married to Steve. I'm locked in on who I'm locked in on. Ain't nothing else happening to do that. I don't like to do that. I always think about Ricky. Like we met the other day and I talk about Ricky. Ricky's one play away to go in. When it's Ricky's time, then I'm going to be 100% behind Ricky. Right now, this is Steve's moment. It's Steve's team. So that's not even fair to Steve or Ricky to ask me that. But you being from here and we're always around each other, so like that's messed up to ask about that, right? I'm just thankful that we won a rival game and Steve was able to do it and Ricky was able to support him, and like it's about to be a great community out here tonight. You should go out somewhere and see all the guys and stuff, right?
I just didn't want to be the guy who asks you that question when you lose. He doesn't ask you when you win, right?
Yeah, I'm loyal, man. That's why I've been this 26 years of being with my wife, 21 married. So I just like to stick with whoever it comes with.
How impressed were you with Antoine's second game as a college player, making the knockdown and then the pass breakup in overtime?
He's a good kid. He works hard. He's smart. He's relentless, and he keeps working and he keeps pushing and he works his butt off, man. And he's ripped up. So, he's legit. He's a good football player, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. We got a bunch of freshmen, but I'm happy he's out there doing a good job, man. It's good for him.
We'll go Christian right next to him for Zach. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man.
What improvements have you seen from Dan Villari over the past year that have allowed him to make the impact that he's had on the offense so far?
He just learned how to lead. He's not in his own way anymore. Dan could be as good as Dan wants to be. Dan could play on Sunday. Dan could do whatever he wants to do. Whatever he decides to do, he could do it because he does everything with his all. Right, he has a pure heart. He's a great kid. I love Dan Villari. I love his parents too, but I love Dan. He's my guy. He's my favorite guy. He's just a good football player. He keeps improving his catching every day after practice. He's doing it, taking the young guys with him. He works extremely hard. He's one of the leaders on our football team.
Fran, we saw you go for it on fourth down a couple of times in the first half, and then when you kicked the field goal.
Say that again. You got to speak a little louder.
You went for it a couple of times in the first half on fourth down. Just what went into that aggressive mentality when you could have kicked the field goal when you were in field goal range?
Just believing in the offense, believing in those guys, believing in my quarterback, believing in the offensive coordinator. Just thinking that those guys can do it.
Go to Steven back.
Coach back here in the corner.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Yeah, he's. I think he's upstairs with Matt Park right now. Everybody's gonna be talking about Steve Angeli and the way that this game ended, the way the offense came alive. Can you speak to the play of the defense though, because they really set the stage for the comeback, right? They kept you guys in at 17-6. They got a bunch of 3-and-outs in that second half. It really seemed like the defense from last week to this week took a step forward.
Yeah, they did a good job, Coach Robinson. We spent a lot of hours in that room this week, just a lot of work and a lot of things. And I'm really happy for Coach E and that defensive staff. I know I'm happy for the players. They went out there and done it, but I'm happy for the defensive staff and what they were able to do the second half. It was a lot of 3-and-outs. I think outside of the second, they had 2 field goals in the second half, if I'm saying, so 6 points. He did a good job, man. I'm happy for him. Words can't even express. I'm thankful for those guys that happened.
Your coach Joseph Duffy, 24/7 Sports. I was going to ask you again about the defense. It looked to be kind of bend but not break again. 400 total yards plus given out, but again, like you said, 4 of 17 the third down that UConn had. Do you view this as an improvement from last week for sure, or are you still not where you want to be?
I think you'll never be where you want to be if you coach football, right? It's almost like a father that trying to raise their kids, right? It's never where it wants to be at. But for me, I'm thankful that we got to win. Herm, can I say my favorite thing? Like we say 1 point's a butt whipping. I'm not going to say it, but 1 point's a butt whipping. We had an opportunity to win by 1 point, and I just think our players and everybody needs to celebrate that, and I'll fix the other things up tomorrow and throughout the week.
We'll go second row of the aisle. Thomas next.
Hey, Coach. Thomas Christopher, the league winners. Early in the game and even some parts in the second half, it seemed like there was some struggles stopping the pass rush of UConn. Is the center in control of those in terms of the blocking times, and does Steve have the ability to modify that at the line of scrimmage?
Just a little mix-up. We got to get better at it. That's a smart question by you. I just rather not really answer that question because that could be giving up some of the stuff that we do where we're talking and things of that nature. But we have to continue to get that better. I'll work on those things. I made a couple things that messed up, so that was completely on me, a few of those sacks. But I'll get that fixed.
And then I wanted to talk about the defensive side of the ball. David Reese really stepped up in the second half of that game. He was very disruptive. Is there any chance that he kind of moves away from that hybrid role and plays primarily on the edge?
I just asked Coach E, I said, why did we get David Reese to come here? He said, to rush the passer. I was like, rush the passer. Right? I mean, let the fighters fight and the sprinters sprint, right? So he did a good job.
Now he passes to your left there, and then after that, we're going to go to Giovanni Heater.
Coach, Justice Ross Simmons last year dealt with a lot of setbacks, hamstring injury early on. How would you characterize his growth leading up to today, this 2-touchdown day?
It's a daily grind. Yeah, I would characterize his growth as a daily grind with unlimited potential. Yeah, that's how I would put it is.
You pass it right in front of Giovanni there. Thank you.
Fran, you went with Nikhil at left tackle today, and then Josh Miller got in there. What went into Nikhil starting, and then what made you put Josh in there?
The other guy's foot's hurting a little bit, and Quell works really hard, does a good job. Josh Miller's a good player. I was just confident, and I felt as though, you know what, let's build depth, right? We're a young football team. Only one that came back that's played last year was Spoon. So you had 10 other guys that didn't start last year. That was all guys that are coming in. Everybody's getting into different roles. So it's like the best time to do it is now. Let's just do it now. So we just did that. Trey Mack's foot's hurt, so we said let's give him some time to rest it. So that way when we start to hit conference and things of that nature, not saying this game wasn't important. It's extremely important. But everyone remembers November, And I want to make sure we got depth when November comes.
Do you have a timetable for Travion yet? Did that happen in the game or in practice this week?
No, it's just more so practice, but I don't really have a timetable. They said I don't got to give that out till Thursday, right?
Technically, Thursday before Clemson, so yeah.
We'll see.
Go to Aiden.
Yeah, Coach, just going back to that fourth quarter, 6 minutes left, you guys are down a little bit. Did you see any flip switch there? Was there any specific moment where you saw the guys come together there to kind of have that rally, or was it really just Steve taking charge?
I think it was Steve. It was prayer for me, right? It was constant prayer. You see the mustard seeds that we went with and just constantly believing in that. But then I told the guys, I said, listen, we're going to have to stop them 4 times on defense. We got to stop 4 possessions in the fourth quarter. And then on offense, we're going to have to score 3 times. And if we do that, we'll have an opportunity of winning. And I just, I said that to him, and I just tried to look him all in the eyes. And I think we all believe in each other, right? We're growing closer, right? Everyone looks at it, the football, and you guys came back and done that. That was just a small part of love. And we got to get closer though, right? I want more. I want our team to love each other even more. A lot of guys are just meeting each other. Some just got here in June. Some just got here in January. Got 58 new guys. So we just gotta. I think the more we fall in love with each other and understand each other, the better you'll see us playing for each other, right? Because if we keep going through games like that, I'm gonna age really, really fast. Right?
For you personally, as a coach. I know you don't like to look at the past, but last year you guys had some experiences in overtime game against Virginia Tech and some close games like this. Having to come back, do you think that experience helped you guys stay and your staff today?
I think it helps a lot. I think there's a lot of things that I was told at the end of the year from assistant AD, Herm. I got a chance to talk to Wildhack, and they told me some things that I could do to help me more so on the sideline. And I think that my sideline stuff and last year and them being able to tell me some things, I think it helped me because I was a little more calm during certain situations instead of going, because a lot of times the kids they're watching me, right? I'm the guy, so that helped me a lot.
that mic, and then we're going to take 2 more for Coach. We're going to go right back to the TV platform, go with Michael and Maddie to finish.
What's up, T? My wife back there.
Hey, Coach. Last week we saw you guys kind of push towards the end. You said that you were proud of your guys for pushing. You guys came out with a loss. This week you did the same thing. You came out with a win. What does that give you guys moving forward into the rest of the season, knowing that you can push in the end and come out with a win?
I think it's the way we practice. We practice that way, and practice ends hard all the time. It's a bunch to go through, and coming out with a win is so much easier to talk to them than a loss. So I'm just hoping we keep coming out with wins. I mean, however it goes, like, I don't really know what an ugly win is. So I just want one more point, right? I mean, honestly, for the community, it's for the players and the families, but like Syracuse community and our fans, the alumni, our students, like, this camp is about to have fun tonight, right? And they deserve it. And that's really what it's for. So that's why I always want to come out with those wins. And in those games, they'll remember, not just the people on our team, but all of the fans, all the students will remember this forever, right? There's so many family members that have a UConn family, somebody that go to UConn or graduated from UConn, someone that went to Syracuse, graduated from Cuse. So it was an early rival for us. So I'm very thankful that we got to come out with the win for that.
Michael, yourself.
Hey, Coach. Up here. Michael Legas, WBNG. Coach, I just wanted to talk about if you on the sideline, some of the fans were voicing their frustration with boos early on or calling for Ricky. Do you hear that in those moments? Do you just focus on the game and ignore that, or do you kind of take that in and try to feel that for the players?
I don't pay that no attention. Because as you see, at the end, they started yelling. So it's like, I can't. I'm not going to listen to you because you go up and down all the time, right? That's like seesaw. I hear it, and I'm thankful that they're voicing their opinion, because they should. Because they paid to get into the game, and they're at the game, and they got a certain way of football that they want to see. So when they're doing that, it's like, okay, cool, I hear what you're saying, but I don't have to do what you say to do. But I definitely hear it, and I don't want the boos. I like the cheering at the end. So, I mean, that's a part of the game, right? Like, people ask me, hey, are you upset that it wasn't, like, completely sold out? Like, nah, we had to win this week to get more to come next week. Now we play Friday night, a little bit more come, and that's my job, to get them to continue to put more and more seats, fans in the seats every week. So, I mean, I'm thankful for their boos. I appreciate them. I know that they love. It's a love-hate relationship, right? They love me, and I love them. Then they mad at me, and it's whatever. So our fans, I'm cool with them. I love them. I'm thankful for them.
And then after the loss to Tennessee, you said that this team is either confused or scared.
I didn't say that. I said when you watch film, it's hard to tell the difference in between a confused player and a scared player. So we got to make sure that we understand and know our jobs more, so when you watch the tape, it looks like that. I didn't say that way.
Either way, how did the response tonight, what did that show?
We won, so I got to watch the tape and I'll let you know. But I will never call our players scared. In practice, I may do that to mess with them. But when you're confused and you hesitate, and then he runs by you, or I'm scared to hit and he runs by me, you can't tell the difference of that on tape because you can't hear it. So that's what I meant by that, but I would never call us scared. I think we're tough guys. We just gotta become a little more detailed, which is Dart and our core values. Go with that? My man. See y'all later. Thank you.
We'll get to the players right here in a second.
Got right there the head coach, the Syracuse Orange, Fran Brown. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff to unpack there. If you haven't seen it already, while he was talking, it quite literally went viral. But he had the entire team, after the win, running sprints on the field in front of everybody that was leaving the building. I think that was for a couple of different reasons. One of them telling the team, like, look, that was not our best. Have to play better. And so, like, a punishment in a way, right? Old school, very old school. The other reason I think that was is to show the community how much he truly cares. Remember, this is the same guy that came out and apologized to the fan base at his own coach's show on Thursday night and said, we didn't put a performance on the field that you can be proud of against Tennessee, and I'm sorry about that, is what he said. So, I think he's trying to show the fan base how much he cares and how much the standard is changing and how much he's bringing things to another level here in Syracuse. Give us a call. Let's talk about it. 315-437-7644 is the number. So much more to unpack. We're going to take a short break here, and then we got more Syracuse-UConn post-game coverage right around the corner. The Orange take down UConn in overtime, 27-20. The final score from the Dome. You're listening to Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse.
Go your way down the stretch, and then how you played in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Just what you can say about personally yourself and the team bending but not breaking.
Yeah, from Coach Nuns this week, one of our goals for the quarterback unit and a key to victory is be the toughest guy on the field mentally and physically. And the entire game I was just trying to show that to my teammates, everyone on the field, and just continuing to fight.
And then Dan, for you, you had the first down at home this season for 2025. You told me going into the season they have no idea what's coming. Just what you can say about how the team fought back and how some of those plays you had fought the team back into it.
Yeah, I think we just have a lot of fight in us because how we train and how we practice. And ultimately, practice is harder than a lot of these games. Like, we just practice so hard, so we just never fought. We never gave up.
We're also joined by Kevin Joby and Chris.
Steve, on the 4th and 2 where the blitzer came free, what happened there? Was it a miscommunication up front? Do you need to be hot and get rid of the ball, or what?
Just misid'd the front.
And then in terms of rebounding from it, right? I could never take a hit and rebound the way you did. But was it a physical thing at all for you? Was it just a mental thing in terms of, it took a little time to...
I've been getting hit since I was a kid. It's part of the game. We just got to get back up and keep playing.
Let's go to Steve right back, and then we'll go up front to Zach and Christian.
Got a question for Steve and a question for Dan. Steve, I'll start with you. Coach Fran talked about trying to keep it loose on the sidelines with the offense, with you in particular, saying, let's go have fun out there. Was there an individual play maybe that got you going a little bit and got the offense going? Because that really was a remarkable turnaround from the first 3 quarters to what we saw at the end. Was there something in particular that kind of clicked for the offense and got you going?
I think when you're able to string together just a series of positive plays, it really, for this offense, all it takes is one play. And, I think we show that, throughout the day. It's just you need one play to kind of create a spark and then just continuing to build. And the more plays you make, the more energy that's created. And the biggest thing is just being in the huddle and looking at those guys in the face and, just making sure to tell them, hey, we got this, we're going to be okay. And, just making sure that those little moments we're staying positive and staying up.
And Dan was one of those guys that did provide a spark for you. And Dan, I want to come to you next. You gave a really insightful answer last year about the culture that's being built here and what Fran's trying to do. Can you speak to winning a game like this and how it kind of speaks to the culture that you all seem to be buying into this last year and a half?
Yeah, you can just see how tough we are and how we never stop fighting. You just see the culture starting to build. And, in years past, I don't know if we would have fought back like that. I feel like we're together. We're really together this year.
Steve, you talked about in terms of plays giving you guys a spark. You hit Justice on the 4th down there for the touchdown. Just what did you see with that play, and was that kind of the play that gave you momentum to go on and win the game? Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Justice. Just he's an unbelievable receiver, unbelievable route runner, and big body, just very strong hands. So a one-on-one to the boundary, I was giving him a chance, and he made the play for me. You went back to him in overtime, and it was kind of a 50-50 ball. He somehow hung on to that. What was the trust like to give him just the opportunity to go and make a play? Man, he has some of the strongest hands I've ever seen at a receiver position. Just the way he's able to just catch the football, focus, just his body control. It's extremely impressive. So I've seen it countless times in practice. So I feel very confident throwing him the football.
Christian.
Dan, for you, how pleased are you to see the work that you've put in this offseason come to fruition to this game today?
Very pleased. we put in the work. I put in the work myself, and it's very pleasing. It's definitely very pleasing, but we got a lot more work to do, and this ain't it.
What's it like working with the guy next to you?
Steve's awesome, man.
Dome 27-20, the final score as Syracuse takes down UConn in overtime, and the Orange move on to 1-1 on the season. We've heard from Fran Brown in his post-game press conference. We've had a caller or two. So much to continue unpacking between the Huskies and the Orange. Give us a ring, 315-437-7644. And right now we are going to head to the phone lines. We got Jake from Iowa. Jake, how you doing, man? Thanks for calling in. Jake? Are you there, Jake? Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You hear me?
I got you. Sorry about that, Jake.
All right, we got to fix these slow starts because they were a problem last year. They're a problem this year. My cardiovascular, I cannot take these slow starts every game. I'm not a gambler, but I would bet that 75% of the crowd and the people watching were calling for Ricky Collins. But I got to say, man, Steve Angeli, he earned our love and respect today. He stepped up. He took a beating, and great win. I'm glad to have it. I don't need to be depressed all day. But let's get off to better starts, man. Please, dear God. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate you, Jake. Thanks for calling in. All the way from Iowa, too, by the way, which is awesome. A couple of things there, and honestly, I think Jake's right in a lot of ways. It felt like not only a slow start. I agree with you on the slow start. It felt like Cuse didn't have a ton of business being in the game. Honestly. Like, until the last 30 minutes, which in game time's what? 8 minutes of football? I mean, it really didn't feel like Cuse had a ton of business being in the football game the way that they were playing. And Steve Angeli, he had struggles, and I was with you. I fired off a tweet that said, hey, I think it's time to look at Ricky Collins. I think one, you needed a spark, the way that Angeli was struggling and the way that the offense was playing. And two, I also thought that, it might not be bad to see what the other guys got. A little bit of both. You're looking for a spark, but you're also testing the waters with Collins. And to Jake's point, Angeli deserves our love now. He does, because, again, I'm going to take you through a couple of the numbers that really stood out. He comes out in that fourth quarter. He's able to deliver this 52-yard strike. It was a great ball to Justice Ross Simmons on 4th and 4. 7 plays, 90 yards. Go 90 yards. 7 plays to score the touchdown, and then backs against the wall. Chance to go down the field and take the lead. Angeli goes out there and delivers on really what could go down as one of the drives of the year. 10 plays, 80 yards in 1 minute and 18 seconds to get in the end zone and take the lead. Of course, then you go to overtime, and he's able to do it again. Precise in overtime. I don't love that they didn't run the ball with Yassine Willis on 3rd and 1. Yassine Willis wasn't even on the field. Instead, they throw it, but ended up being the game-winning play on offense. Beautiful ball to Justice Ross Simmons, and it's a combo, right? It's a great pass because he put it in a spot only JRS could go get it with those huge mitts. And then Justice Ross Simmons, unbelievable catch. Diving across the pylon like that while he's catching it. I mean, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. So I'm with you, Jake. We got another caller on the line. We got Texan Mark in Maryland. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, great. Hey, I just wanted to say congratulations, Giovanni, for the new gig after graduating from Virginia Tech. Awesome for you to get the job. And I'll tell you what, today I still don't know where this team's at. I'm still thinking 6-6 could be possible, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us only win 3 or 4 games.
Mark, I really appreciate that comment. It means a lot, so thank you very much. So awesome to be back here in Syracuse and talking Cuse football. And, I'm with you. Again, it felt like, Mark, that team didn't have a lot of business winning this game until you got to the home stretch there. And then all of a sudden they were able to kind of turn it on. But I'm with you. I think 6-6 looks difficult because we know what the schedule looks like, and we know that UConn's a good offense, but, we don't exactly know what everybody else is going to have to offer, right? Appreciate the call, Mark. And yeah, when you just look down that schedule, like it's rough. And this was a home game too. And it just felt like the offense was so stagnant for so much of this game. And they were able to turn it on, so we need to see more of that. But Mark, I'm with you. It's not going to show up in the box score the way that it looked. So that's why numbers can be so deceiving. I agree with you. I think 6 wins looks a little more difficult than I think it did before they played the game today. But they won the game. They won the game, showed a lot of resilience, and I think that you learn a lot playing in games like this. You learn how to win, which is also not an easy thing to do. I think people underestimate how difficult it is to learn how to win a close game. I mean, you mentioned that I went to school at Virginia Tech. Their head coach, Brent Pry, is 1-12 in one-score games. I saw one one-score game that Virginia Tech won in my time covering that team. It's not easy to win close games. It's not. Like, it's not one of those things where you snap your fingers and get better at it. Fran Brown's been good in those scenarios. I take you to the Virginia Tech game last year. I take you to the UNLV game last year. This UConn game here. The Miami game. They've boded well in one-score games. So if they can keep it close throughout the year, if they can keep it close, I think they're always going to have a shot because the team's never going to quit. Fran's got them running sprints on the field after the game. If you can just keep it within reach, somehow this team always seems to have a shot. Give us a ring, 315-437-7644. I want to talk about the Syracuse defense. We've been talking a lot about the quarterback, Steve Angeli. We've been talking a lot about the offense waking up late in the game. None of it, I mean none of it, happens without Elijah Robinson's defense. They balled out. They gave up one big play, and I know that it stands out like a sore thumb. The long touchdown run in the first half. But other than that, man, that defense was on fire because they just kept giving the offense a chance and giving them a chance. And the offense would sputter and go 3 and out. And the defense is back out there again. And they just kept bringing it. Cuse could have got beat by 30 if that defense didn't step up. And I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Defense showed up big time. You look drive by drive in the second half for UConn, who, by the way, scored 6 points the entire second half. UConn gets the ball first, chunk their way down the field, results in a field goal. They're up 17-6. Next defensive drive after Syracuse goes 3 and out. Nice tackle for loss by Chris Peel. Then they end up punting the football. Syracuse then goes 3 and out once again. Defense back on the field. 8th drive of the game for UConn. Nice job by Reese. He was a beast. The transfer defensive end coming off the edge all over the place. Creating pressure, wreaking havoc. Not going to show up in the box score. Not going to be sacks necessarily, but all over the place. Making a big impact. They call those havoc plays. Had a swat. Creates 3rd and 19 at one point. And then they're forced to punt the ball. Syracuse starts to drive at their own 3. They go down the field a little bit. They punt the ball. Defense back on the field, force a 3 and out. Cuse has a couple of big throws, miss a 48-yard field goal. Defense back on the field, force UConn to punt right off the rip. Syracuse offense back on the field. Angeli, quick interception. Defense back on the field. Demetrius Samuel Jr., huge pass deflection to force 4th down. It's down the left sideline. It's a nice ball. Demetrius Samuel Jr. swats it to the ground. Really heads up play. by the freshman, the 17-year-old freshman, by the way, gives the offense another chance. And that's when they lit it up. Justice Ross Simmons on 4th and 4, the 52-yard touchdown. How many times did I just say that the defense just keep going out there and getting a 3-and-out stop, forcing the punt, and just keep handing the keys to the offense, saying, hey, please, do something. And then the offense was there, and it clicked. And that, it wasn't complimentary football for fourth quarters, but when the offense was struggling, the defense was there to pick them up, and that's why Cuse won this game. So Cuse scores the touchdown at 17-12 at that point. UConn breaks off a little bit of a big run. They get it to midfield with Edwards. Cuse jumps off sides, which was rough on the 3rd and 4. But then you get the big tackle for loss. Kevin Jobity, another guy on that defensive line that was in the backfield all day. Huge TFL. He had a sack in the contest. They run a reverse on 3rd down. Syracuse swarms to the football, takes the ball carrier down pretty much at the line of scrimmage. UConn has to punt again. Then Syracuse goes on that huge 10-play, 80-yard drive to take the lead. And then in overtime, Cuse able to score the touchdown. Defense has a chance to be the ones to win the game. And they do just that. Tank Wilson blows up a run to the outside, gets him in the backfield for lost yardage on the first play on offense for UConn at overtime. Another play, great coverage down the sideline. It's 3rd and 11. You got the pass interference on Kerr. It's tough. He's guarding their best receiver. This is a kid that they offered $500,000 to go play at Michigan, and he turned it down. And they were looking for Bell. Pass interference, all right. Gives UConn a chance. It was the right call. Ball's at the 11-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Antoine Delorier gets after the quarterback. The freshman swats it down. And then Antoine Delorier again, the freshman, showing up in the big moment. 4th and 3. Pass to the end zone. Thought for sure, oh man, we're going to double overtime. That's a, as the ball's in the air, I'm like, that's a touchdown. Delorier sticks his hand out, deflects it to the turf. Cuse win. Those that remained went bonkers. My parents did not leave. Those are the diehards. They did not leave. And Antoine Delorier comes up big. The entire defense comes up big. That is the star of the show in this 11-point comeback victory, in my opinion. Because the Cuse, again, the offense, of course, showed up, but that defense was big time. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to wrap up our post-game coverage around the corner. Syracuse takes down UConn in the Dome, an overtime win for the Orange. 27-20, the final score. Give us a ring. We'll talk about it and take any callers in the next segment before we wrap things up here in studio. 315-437-7644 is the number. This is Syracuse postgame right here on Cuse Sports Talk at ESPN Radio Syracuse.
This is Orange.
Chat, How are we feeling? What are the vibes? Like, are we feeling like we stole one? Or are we feeling hype? What's the vibe? What's the new over-under win total? That's what I want to know. What does everybody think Syracuse is going to finish now? They get to 6? Yeah, lucky the defense dug in. The defense dug in, dude. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jesse. Which one? 5-7? All right. Well, you're at Crossroads would be cool, yeah. I appreciate it, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, we have to play better. Cuse has to play better. I can't say we. Cuse has to play better. I agree. I do think they will improve as the season goes on. You know, like, it's week 2 with so much newness, if that's a word. I know Steve said that on the radio the other day. Is that a word? How did Duke look? I didn't get a chance to really watch. Really wanted to see them beat Illinois, but Illinois is good, man. Some of these commercials I feel like I have memorized at this point.
CuseSportsTalk.com. This is the Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW postgame show with Giovanni Heater.
Final thoughts on Syracuse's overtime win over UConn in the Dome, 27-20. The final score for the Cuse. They come back down 11 in the fourth quarter to knock off UConn. Some people are saying they stole one. Others are saying that Cuse had it in the bag the entire time. Give us a call and tell us your thoughts. 315-437-7644 is the number. Final segment, so get them in quick. And we're going to go ahead and go to the phone lines here. We're going to talk with Jake from Iowa once again. Jake, how we doing, man?
Hey, Gio. Well, I'm doing a lot better than I would have if we lost.
I feel you.
You mentioned your family never leaves early. I've sat in 311 heaven all my life when I'm not in Iowa. We never leave early either. Shout out to my dad. Two things. One, that touchdown in overtime was about the closest touchdown I've ever seen in my life. And if we're giving credit where credit's due to the defense, we got to shout out the special teams here today because they stunk it up last year. And, yeah, I know we missed a long field goal, but they were putting the hits on, and special teams, Stonehouse is kicking the air out of the ball. Special teams look great today. Give them credit where it's due. Appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for giving a ring, Jake. And it's funny you say that because 311 is actually where when we first got season tickets. We have since moved, but when my family first got season tickets, That's where my grandpa got him, 311. So fell in love with the Dome and Syracuse football sitting in 311 back in the day. So got a soft spot for 311 heaven, especially the standing room only guys at the top. Those guys always deliver and always bring it. So, yeah, if you stayed at the Dome for all 4 quarters, shout out to you. A lot of people did not, but awesome nevertheless. And the special teams comment, 100%. Yeah, you missed the long field goal, I agree, but, man, they were getting after it, those special teams guys. A handful of big hits. And it really set the tone early, like big hits, like just running through people hits that really set the physical tone. It felt like a Northeast tough football game, an old school Big East football game. So, yeah, really cool stuff. Shout out to Josh Kubala. He had a big hit. Josh Kubala had a big hit, and he's a former high school lacrosse teammate of mine, so got to give him some love. Number 49 on the special teams unit. He had a wallop in the fourth quarter. So, good stuff. Good stuff out of the special teams, no doubt about it. All right, last segment here. It's called Improving the Team, and it's brought to you by Auburn Community Hospital. Auburn Community Hospital is improving their team. Apply today at auburncommunityhospital.org. So what do the Cuse need to improve on heading into not only next week, but the rest of the season? I think there are a couple of things here. I'd like to see him run the ball more. It's not ideal. Like, we were frustrated with Steve Angeli's performance, right? People on Twitter are going crazy. Even us in the studio, we're scratching our heads a little bit at times. And people were frustrated with Steve Angeli's performance. I don't know if throwing the ball 53 times is putting your quarterback in the best situation to succeed. This isn't Kyle McCord, right? That's just kind of a reality and a fact. So if it's not Kyle McCord, and maybe he's not the same level quarterback that can make some of the big throws that McCord could make and fit it into these tight windows and what have you, maybe 53 times is a lot of times to throw the ball, especially when you have Yassine Willis, who had 11 carries today. He had 11 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown. I think you go to him a little bit more. Because, yeah, you were running out of time in the fourth quarter, and I get that, but it's not like you were down 3 touchdowns. It wasn't like the Tennessee game, right? Think you lean on the run game a little more if you can, because Yassine Willis is a tough guy to bring down. Physical runner. I'd like to see them run the ball a little bit more. I just think 53 times throwing it with your situation at quarterback perhaps is not ideal in order to find full offensive success. Another thing I think you'd like to see improve is maybe just the ability to throw the ball down the field, right? Like, a lot of it was intermediate chunk plays, which, I mean, you're going to take anything, but never really have seen him cut it loose and just plant a foot in the ground and let it rip. A lot of that has to do with the protection, so maybe another point should be maybe the offensive line offers a little bit more time, a little bit more help. But I'd like to see, set the feet, let it rip, and see what the arms got. Especially if you're going to throw it 53 times. There's plenty of opportunity to do so. And then defensively, I don't have anything for the defense, man. I mean, they held them to 6 points in the entire second half, 2 field goals. On the first and the second to last possession of the second half. And the defense just kept getting stops and kept getting stops and kept getting stops and giving the offense a chance to get back into this game, which the offense did just that. So I don't think I really have anything on the defensive side, at least not from the UConn game, because the defense did their part. If you're going to pick one thing, I'd say limit the big play. They broke off that 45-yard touchdown gash. If you were going to pick one thing, I guess I'd say limit the big play. But plays are going to happen. And for the most part, Cuse rang the bell every time and made a lot of plays themselves on defense. Didn't force turnovers. I guess you could call for some turnovers. But but made some big plays on defense. So the Cuse are going to host Colgate. That's coming up Friday night, so a short week for the Orange. FCS opponent rolling into town. We're going to have you covered all week long here on Cuse Sports Talk at ESPN Syracuse. You can listen to Orange Nation noon to 2 every day. You can listen to Drive Time with Tim Leonard 5 to 6 p.m. every day. And then, of course, Mike McAllister and I will have you covered from Shaughnessy's Irish Pub in the Marriott Hotel, downtown Syracuse. Join us there. The place was packed pregame today. Like, shout out to the Cuse fans that showed up because it was packed to the brim. They got breakfast. For night games, they got different food. They got the whole bar going. Everything you could ask for pregame festivities. You can find it right at Shaughnessy's Irish Pub. So join us there pregame. That'll be on Friday this week because the Orange playing on Friday. We're there 3 hours prior to kickoff every week. So come hang out with us on Friday. Sorry, just said Friday. And then it'll be Saturday for the rest of the season, except that North Carolina game on a Friday night, Halloween night as well. And then we'll always talk post-game after the game. So we will have you covered as the Cuse look on to Colgate. Hopefully look to get what feels like a convincing win. Like you want to walk out of that Friday game feeling like, all right, we got this. We're feeling good. Because then the big boys come. And then the Cuse play the Clemson Tigers down in Death Valley. And the season never stops. It's full go from there. Week after week. This is as easy as it gets, folks. UConn and Colgate. It's a gauntlet. We'll see what 2025 has in store. I have faith. I have faith that the Cuse are going to continue to get better. That the Cuse are going to continue to improve. And Fran Brown's going to continue to go viral because he's gone viral already for making them run sprints after the game. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. It's fun as always. Today's show brought to you, of course, by Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, Burdick BMW, Burdick Ford, and presented by Point Guard Advisors and Charles Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Syracuse pulls off the win inside the Dome, an overtime thriller, down 11 points in the fourth quarter, and Syracuse able to get it done, which is impressive to show that resilience, and they've showed it time and time again. For the guys making the magic behind the scenes, Paul McCoy, our producer today, thank you so much. Show does not happen without you. I'm Giovanni Heater signing off from in studio here in Syracuse. 27-20, the final score. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Syracuse fans. It's always so much sweeter after a big win. 27-20, the Orange victorious over UConn.
Hurt in the car.